Okay, so I've had two more epiphanies since the last video. So I'm cleaning up these papers. I moved some of them downstairs because I'm going to vacuum the floors, clean them up, wash them up before I do my exercises. And as I pulled those papers up like that out of the stack, this paper, it went flying down like that. It landed there. So I have to analyze that. Most people wouldn't analyze that, but I got to analyze it. So if you look at this this wave here, that's an electromagnetic wave, and it's pointing over here to those numbers there. So of interest is the 1313. So what's this here? So those are my numbers right there. You see it says 1313? So that's a status card number. So as usual, it's never straightforward to the point information. There's 50% information that says I am the entire electromagnetic wave spectrum, because that one represents me being both of them through the 1313, when normally it's two people. So the 2 is a representation of me and Jaden, because she has that secret number 13, just like I do, 1313. So the 2 is her. It should be both of us, but the 1 is a representation of me having the entire electromagnetic wave spectrum. So that's number 1. However, there's another clue here. This is for Leah, Jaden's cousin. So this is a representation of me being alone. This is a representation of Jaden being with Sean. And this 3 is a representation of them having a child together, leaving me all alone. So what is the creator supposed to do if I'm left all alone? You know, if she doesn't want to get with me, what's my recourse? What's my backup plan? So that's the story that I've yet to tell. It's not in the book. You know, it's a work in progress. But you know, I have been working with Leah's spirit for quite some time. So, and she's been showing me all kinds of clues like this. So in part, this is your spirit, Leah, like maybe drop this thing here so that I could see this particular clue here to tell mankind that I am that entire electromagnetic wave spectrum through the 1313. Now, the 13, that's Jaden's number, but it's also Leah's number, because her uncle, Reynolds, or Jake the Snake, they call him, lives beside Sherry and Gabe, whose 911 number is 13. So the driveway next to Jake's has the number 13, which means there's a connection to Leah having that number too through Gab and Sherry's driveway number. So that 13 is a representation of Leah replacing Jaden in the event that I get shut down. So this 2 and that 3 is a representation of Dr. Pepper, because they have 23 flavors. So I remember having a conversation with Leah when I think she was about 8 maybe. We jumped in the van here, drove down to the res, and on the way there, I asked her about school and what she wanted to be. She said she wanted to be a doctor. So I told her, well, if you're going to be a doctor, don't get too involved in Facebook. Don't get too involved in Instagram or TikTok. That stuff will slow you down. She says, yeah, I don't get involved in that. My brother does, though. So through the association of Leah wanting to be a doctor when she was 8 years old, this 23 now represents her, as in Dr. Pepper, 23 flavors. Which is another clue, meaning, well, what if Leah shoots me down and doesn't want to get with me? So the 2 is Jaden remaining with Sean. The 3 is their baby. And then the 23 is Leia through the association of her uncle Reynolds, who lives beside Gabe and Sherry with the fire number 13. So if I get shot down there, well then 23 is my backup plan. And I got a lot of wives I could choose there. Like I could choose Sherry. I could choose my stepdaughter. There's Tatum is another one. Even Charlotte, like across the pond. That Charlotte, if you know what I mean. So that's not including celebrities. So I try not to think about that too much because I kind of think it's like evil's way of getting me to drag my feet. But you never know. Grandmother might have that a backup plan to rescue me in the event that I don't find love. So, what does that mean? Well, she's this one here, I guess. So, since grandmother is this entire wave here, when I showed you that other picture. It theoretically, this one here, it theoretically can mean if I'm this entire electromagnetic wave spectrum and grandmother's that entire electromagnetic wave spectrum and evil's that one, well, then we're really in no threat of a black hole, it would seem, because we've kind of did the old bait and switch, and maybe, evil wasn't aware that grandmother could do that. But I don't know. This could be all smoke and mirrors from evil too. So, basically what would be going on here is the electromagnetic wave spectrum in here is connected to the two evil primordial children who got rid of mom and dad. Their electricity flows into this universe here. But because I'm born in this universe here, it means that I can hijack that electromagnetic wave spectrum and make it my own, leaving them landlocked in that one, and leaving grandmother landlocked in that one. If that's the truth, well then, perhaps mother can't create a black hole. Which means, this last life is more than likely, it probably deals with a loss of love, perhaps. In a past life, I might have saved the day. She might have chose me. She might not have chosen me. She might have chose, to remain with the guy. And grandmother probably made note of it. If she chose him once or twice. That because this is Ragnarok, I need somebody to love, right? So this is me here. Once I take that there, we're in no danger of being destroyed in a black hole. And if Jaden doesn't select to be with me, well, I guess it could I could look for love elsewhere, but I don't give up that easily on Jaden, because there's even a longer story where evil came here, kidnapped her, replaced her with a clone or an android, and took her up to the brain universe and deatomized her by deatomizing her on a medical bed and letting her disintegrate into a UFO nuclear fusion reactor, where that one electron, which would be this one here. So this one here, this would remain alive, and everything in creation is inside that one single particle. The cork, the soul, space, time, and Gaia. So that there would be it would travel along the invisible electromagnetic wave spectrum. If they deatomized her, So she would get put on a medical bed in one of these UFOs, and when the particles traveled across there, it would get sucked into that nuclear fusion reactor there, where it would travel along the invisible electromagnetic wave spectrum here, bounce around from star to star to star to star, galaxy to galaxy, until it reached I don't know if I have that one. Oh, here's this one. Until it reached, well, let's say this is the elemental universe. So this is where grandmother is. So that particle would have traveled and it would get dislodged there. And it would just stay there at that junction there. So in the brain universe, the elemental universe, along that invisible electromagnetic radiation, is where mother theoretically could be if they did abduct her when she was young and deatomize her. And that's a story that I've also yet to tell. So that's just a quick overview of the possibilities. So if I get shot down, it doesn't mean the end of the road for me where I start looking for new love. It just means I got to get a message over to the elemental universe, get my UFOs over here, go up there and fly over there and go look for that particle. And then if I do find it and reatomize her, well then I get my wife back. And that's from Ready Player One, the crystal key, where the guy's playing the game called Adventure. And he says, see, Warren Robinette was proud of Adventure. He wanted to know who was behind it. That's why he created the first Easter egg ever. And to find it, you didn't even have to all you had to do was blindly move from room to room, searching for an invisible dot. Once you find the dot, you took the dot back to the main screen, and that's when you found the first Easter egg ever. The creator's name, Warren Robinette. But that's not what that means. It means that invisible dot is that the dot I just showed you downstairs, the electron, which in theory could be in the brain universe, against the elemental universe, because evil abducted her at some point in time and deatomized her. So, if that's the case, no offense, Jaden, but it's just, these are just the stories I've yet to tell, so that's why I said in my previous videos, we're going to have to take it slow, because, we don't want to rush into anything, because that still has to be checked out, so, but it would be nice if evil came back and said, it's right, Anthony. We did do that. We did abduct her and we got rid of her. So if that's the case, folks, all that's happened is when she gets deatomized, she'd fall asleep and enter a state of dreaming. So she'd be over here in a state of dreaming. I would assume in that dream, days, weeks, or months pass, maybe quite possibly even years. So imagine entering a dream where you can't wake up from it, and you're just meandering around through the dream like a spectator, never knowing where the dream's going to end up. So when we look back at the Ready Player One crystal key, and to even find it, you didn't even have to look around. You just had to look around in a bunch of rooms searching for an invisible dot. The dot just happens to be Jaden's grandmother's name, Dorothy Dot Solomon, which is a representation of Jaden Dot Solomon. So the invisible dot is her, and when you take the main dot back to the main screen, that's when you find the creator's name. It simply means Jaden is the creator. Through her name, Jaden Dot Solomon. Through her grandmother's name, Dorothy Dot Solomon. Now, whether or not the story I just told holds water, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where it goes.